Hello, everyone. Brady, Charlie, Garrett here. We're talking some hashtag BB All Stars. So, are they calling it BB 21 All Stars or is Big Brother? Well, they already had an
They
All-Star.
really just keep saying Big Brother All Stars.
And
Yeah,
all the
why don't
logo
they
is
say
all the
22?
branding is just all stars. I think it's probably like how some shows will do. Survivor does the same thing when they do the anniversary shows. They just call it an anniversary. We're bringing a bunch of people
They
back.
called it
Type
All
show.
Stars in 10 too, but then if you go back and watch it, that's what you're thinking. So anyway,
It's true.
So we had the live eviction tonight, which people who were keeping up with live feeds kind of knew how this was going to go. But maybe this caught you by surprise if you've just been watching the shows. So hello, Zach. And what I like about live shows, Charlie, especially, well, Gary, you've been watching live feeds here and there as well, right?
Occasionally, yeah, when I have a chance. Yep.
I haven't watched any of the live feeds, to be honest with you, but I just keep up with the updates. And so one thing that's nice about Thursdays is that everybody's caught up. The people that are watching live feeds, the people that are watching the show. Sure, CBS can edit it a certain way, but for the most part, we know what the main storylines are. Really, the show kind of told the story, I thought, as far as how both people campaigned. I think Kevin's strategy going through the week after he got nominated, Kevin's strategy was don't campaign super hard for votes, just kind of build relationships and hope that he made enough positive relationships that they'd keep him. Whereas Keisha was trying hard, I think, in her own way, but it just wasn't working. Keisha, is this an all-time terrible performance, Charlie, as far as trying to get votes from Keisha?
Yeah, it feels really bad that, Keisha had to go out like this. But, yeah, she did not campaign until last night at 10 p.m. And it just wasn't the way. She was just asking Kaser and Janelle what to do. But, I mean, hey, that's a quick $40K in her pocket. She was there for, 9 days? So,
yep.
Quick $40K in the bag.
Zach says, nice jersey, Charlie.
Appreciate it, Zach. We got Zach Levine.
What's funny is that I actually was going to throw the Bruins jersey on, but I was glued to both the game and the show, and I just forgot to run in there and get it. But
hey, we got some Indians action too. Let's go.
Hey, man.
A little bit of Lindor action. Going
if I would have had the Bruins, we would have had
you know what I mean? I'm just repping.
We would have had 3 of the 4 major sports, represented had thrown on the Bruins.
And we got
true. Oh my God, you should have done it. Oh well.
I'll run and grab it at some point. I got the Bergie. And the Phil Kessel old school. So, let's skip forward to the HOH, and then we'll kind of backtrack through the episode. All right. So, as First Take Critic says, feels like, also love the
that's a great image.
So it feels like another boring week with Memphis as a HOH. And I think what we kind of mean by boring, Charlie, is that it seems like Kaser and Janelle are a little isolated, and they both swipe their card this week. So we know they're not going to have the chance to even save themselves this week. And we know that Memphis and Cody are working together. So do you think this is so Garrett, thinking of those 3 things, do you think that it's chalk this week? Do you think it's an easy case, or Janelle don't rock the boat?
Right. I mean, true. I mean, if you were trying to play it smart. I'm sorry. I just saw a comment that I just had to appreciate.
Nice.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen that Bauer Bites episode with Clevenger on, it was great. But anyway, but yeah. So shout out to the Indians crew. But anyway, but yeah, no. I think it's. I kind of agree. It's going to be boring, but like you have to. Okay, I guess here's what I would say, right? Is you have to play it super cautious these first couple of weeks, because you can easily paint a target on your back. Kaser and Janelle have already done so. It makes it a really easy week next week for them, because they can just put both of them up. No one's going to challenge it. No one's going to take them off the block, more than likely, unless one of them wins veto or something. And
yeah,
so
I mean, hey, I got a bit of a different take for you. I think that this week's actually. I would be surprised if Kaser and Janelle hit the block. Because we have seen countless amount of times. There it is. So Memphis on feeds is pretty passionate about targeting Ian this week. So maybe that's something with Dan. Who knows? Remember, Ian beat Dan.
Yeah.
So about last night, Cody and Memphis were talking about what Memphis would do if he won HOH. Again, this can always change. Stuff can get in his ear. But Memphis has loyalty to Kaser and Janelle. So it seems like Memphis' plan, as of last night, was putting up Ian as his main target and putting up Bailey as his pawn. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if that's the route that they go. But Ian being the target week 2, that'd be some pretty. It's like we've been saying, Ian's going home early or he's going deep.
Yeah, it's literally. Me and Charlie were talking about that last night. It's one way or the other with him, right? Because everyone knows how dangerous he is, and if he plants seeds, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like not over, but like you're not getting him out. You know what I mean? Like for a while, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I genuinely agree with that.
Got to knock him out quick.
Yeah, because he's big threat. So I picked him. Like big threat.
Libby's predicting Memphis puts up Ian and Kevin. Yep, that would be the same idea. Ian as the target, Kevin as the pawn. So
now, here's the thing, man. There's so many people left. The chances are so high that you don't get picked for the veto. If you really want to guarantee to get someone out, it's better odds for you as HOH since you're automatically picked. It is better odds for Memphis, for example, knowing if I was Memphis and I really wanted Ian out, you know that Kaser and Janelle are gonna be playing for that veto hard because they both know that they're not gonna have the votes if the other one wins veto and gets taken off. So you know they're both playing for veto. You as HOH are playing for veto. Therefore, you have a half chance of getting veto used, and then you backdoor Ian. That's really all you have to do. It's an easy backdoor week because the chances of Ian getting picked and winning veto is slim to none with this many people still left in the house.
Oh, yeah. I think it's definitely Memphis winning HOH is a lot better than many other people that had a chance. Like if Nicole Franzel would have won it or Danny, Christmas, this week would have been easy. But Memphis is one of probably the only 3 other people that is not going to probably put up Janelle and Kaser and actually maybe change this game up a little bit.
Hey, man, you mentioned, Charlie, somebody that you just said finally got her first diary room session. Christmas got a diary room session. 3 episodes in. 3 episodes in, she got one. So good job. Libby said if he puts up Kaser and Janelle, he shows his cards, and I think it's early for that. Here's the thing, though. I don't think that necessarily shows that he wants them out. I think that is a way of him telling everyone else in the house that he wants Kaser and Janelle out, which is good for the rest of the house because they're isolated. But if he goes up and tells Kaser and Janelle, if the only people that know he wants Ian out pre-veto are him, Kaser, Janelle, and Cody, if he keeps it just the 4 of them, that's totally fine. And if you're Kaser and Janelle and you get put on the block and you know you're going on the block, number one, you're not going to be as angry at Memphis for putting you on the block, and you're going to not want to rock the boat. You're not going to make it seem like you're angry at Memphis, and you're also not going to want to tell people that you know what's going on, because then if word gets back to Memphis, guess what? You're on the block and you can go home. So I think that's the way to do it personally, but I can see your point as well, Libby. Fume says, wasn't Garrett's first season of watching Big Brother last year? It was.
Yeah, it was.
That was the cool thing last year, was that I've watched every season. Charlie had watched about half, and Garrett, it was his first season. So we're all around the spectrum. And Charlie's watched not every season, but I'd say most of them right now. Charlie, 3/4 maybe.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So, hello, Veracity.
And I didn't mean to interrupt, but like I've gone back and learned about a lot of the seasons and stuff like that too since then. So I'm a little bit more knowledgeable.
Definitely. And when Charlie and I knew that it was going to be an all-star season, or had, the rumors that it was going to be an all-star season, Charlie and Garrett started this thing where I'd say for about a week, they went back and watched gameplay of some of the bigger players that we had a high probability of going in. The Dans, the Derricks, the Tylers. How many of these people, Janelle, how many of these names do you think you were at least familiar with where you went back and watched some gameplay, Garrett?
I couldn't give you an exact number, probably 70% of them. Just like I'd known of them just from game tape, because you see so much stuff from other seasons too, randomly. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So it was way less. There was more people I thought I would. Okay, because of how many people pulled out, there was more people I didn't know than I thought there would be. But I still knew a good amount of them, and I had a really good and also of course David's my
Josh
guy.
And Casey,
of course, David, the guy. He's not on my team, but he's still my guy. I love him. David.
Justin's a Flyers fan. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So Fume says, what's your guys' thoughts on Nicole crying? Charlie? Strategy
it's
or real?
100% strategy, and that's why so many people hate her. That's just kind of where it's at.
I think it's real. I just think she wears her heart on her sleeve. But
No, because here's the thing: she cries to paint someone as the victim. We saw it all the time in 18, and she really is trying to do that to Janelle in the house. And I'm sure they'll show it this week. But yeah, she pretty much just cries and says Janelle's bullying her, even though they're just in a room talking. But if she owned that gameplay, I think a lot more people would respect her.
Zach, you guys won last year. You're not allowed to make fun of my team.
Hey, by the way, this team right here, I made the joke to Charlie earlier. It should be called Team Brains and Brawn. Anyway, it's a nice little pun name, you know.
This was a dub for the viewers this week, by the way, picking up Memphis with the HOH.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so Memphis.
And as is tradition, I lose a person first. Just the way it goes.
As is
remember last
tradition.
year?
Yeah, Charlie had 3 of the first 5 people out, but then you had one guy just scoring points from then on out.
Cliff Hall, baby.
So anyway, who did you want? So Garrett, who were you hoping won the HOH this week, or did you have a list of people you didn't want to win?
It's probably more like the sorry, what do you call it? The former, the ladder. Sorry about that. I couldn't think of the word English. Anyway, I probably the latter. There was a lot of people I just didn't want it to be as boring. You know what I mean? I wanted there to be someone who's going to maybe potentially shake things up, make some game moves, because there are some people that will make game moves early on. There's people smart enough to know that in this season, there's no such thing as like weeks where, because it's true that, the first couple of weeks you still don't want to rock the boat. But at the same time, everybody in the house knows that. So they all know how this game works. It's not like a regular season where there's people that are going to be better than others, so I don't know, but if I had one in person I wanted to win, I think it would have been really cool if we got a Case or a Janelle win, just to see what would have happened.
To rock the boat. Yeah, of course.
Just because that would have been like a fun bloodbath to watch. Do I need to find my headset now? Is this what we need to do? Do I need to get the Yeti in? We all have the same setup here, basically.
Yeah. That's going to be our new thing. 3 dudes with a Yeti. It's going to be our podcast name. So,
I can get a little weird though.
Hey, who's the Yeti, buddy?
First take, I think it's too early to tell that. No, I think with the HOHs, I'm rooting. I'm glad Memphis won, actually, because a lot of people thought going into it, even though it's probably going to be a little status quo and it's going to be boring. And I can't remember who said it earlier on, but they said, I just hope that things pick up a little bit. I just want more HOHs to go to a wide array of people that are forced to play the game. Like, what would happen if Christmas were to win an HOH right now? What would happen if Kevin were to win an HOH? Or what would happen if, Kaser were to win an HOH? A lot of these people that we're not going to know where they stand until some hard decisions have to be made. If Tyler won an HOH, he's got a final 2 with everyone in the whole game. So
I don't see Tyler. He's always, I'm never throwing a comp, but I don't know, man. I think he's got to relax for a couple weeks and then maybe win one then. That'd be a good move for him.
So, Garrett, should Cody go up this week? What do you think?
So I can win the game.
I think that would be a very poor move for Memphis to make at this point.
Yeah. It would just be you get if it was a regular season, maybe, because you can sometimes get away with that when the HOH gets blood on their hands. But even then, you're still taking a risky move because if they have people that they're aligned with, now you're potentially at risk. So it's like it's such a hard game to play sometimes, in these early weeks because you don't want to ruffle any feathers,
Right. So First Take says, who do you think is Cody's number 1 ride or die? I hate to say it, but a lot of these people came into the house with alliances, or at the very least, they knew a couple people that they were close with, whether they were from their season or whatever. I think Cody and Memphis just have this thing between the two of them where it's Cody and Memphis for sure. I think it sucks to think because most people see Dan and Derek as the 2 that should have been in there over Cody and Memphis, which
2 Batmans, but instead they got the 2
which
Robins.
is funny because the 2 Robins have won HOH the first 2 times. So I like that they're stepping up and showing that they're their own game player. And I think Cody's playing a really good game, and I want to see what Memphis does this week, especially. But I think those 2 have that connection like Cody had in diary session today. He was talking about, we both brought people to the end and it ended up biting us, and we both finished second because of loyalty. And I think they're both committed to, hey, man, you know what? This time around, we'll just play the loyalty game again, but one of us is going to win this time. And I think they're both okay with coming in second to the either, knowing that they're so similar in the way that their original seasons panned out. What do you think, Charlie?
I think Cody's number one is Enzo.
Okay.
I think he might have came in the house thinking either Nicole or Memphis was going to be his number one based on pregame stuff. But I think he's going to have that connection with Enzo that's going to reign above all the others.
It's interesting because he's come in and done this thing. Like he's almost sort of coming in and being like the, the girl that gets you in trouble with your girlfriend or whatever, because Memphis is clearly the one he's like super attached to. So you can still see them talking all the time.
Right.
But Enzo's giving him all the information in the house. So,
oh yeah.
It's like, so good because he knows everything because everyone likes Enzo because Enzo's such a great social player, So it's like, it's fascinating conundrum for Cody to be in this season,
And what's good is Cody's got completely separate alliances with each of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good move for him.
So as far as this week goes, it could be really boring. It could be very interesting. We don't really know where anyone stands in the house truly, right? Would it surprise you if any of these final two deals, maybe Davon and Bay? I think that they're the only two that I believe they're going to be solid the entire game, and they're never going to split from each other. That's the only one that I truly believe can't be broken up because, let's be honest, they know that America has wanted these two to work together. And
it's a connection deeper than the game itself.
Agreed. And I think Nicole A. and Kevin, as we saw on the episode today, could end up being forced to stay aligned the entire game just due to the fact of Nicole and Kevin are your prime second half of double eviction night. Just vote them off just because it's not going to rock the boat. So,
there's a chance Kevin goes deep now that he survived that first week.
So let's do a little team review, Charlie. You got the teams all pulled up, right? Let's see Team Garrett. Garrett, how you feeling about your team?
So far, so good. All my people are laying low. Cody had that first HOH win, so I knew he was going to be Kaser making enough moves to keep himself from getting thrown on, get put on the block. I can't complain about how my team's playing so far.
What do you think about the fact that Cody kind of wants to cut Ian and Kaser?
Look, man, if there's a civil war within Team Garrett, then it happens, man. Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet,
Charlie, let's throw up your team. How you feeling?
Hey, I think I got the two best game players in the house in Enzo and Tyler, so I'm okay with it.
And Davon looks really good.
I took an L quickly. Yeah, exactly. I got three people that are going to go deep. I would be surprised if one of them went home.
Like, of all the people you had one person that could potentially go out in the first couple of weeks, and that person went out, and so now you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Which is funny because Charlie took, Tyler and Davon, super heavy game players. Enzo and Keisha, the people that are just going to play a social game and stick it out till the end. So Enzo and Keisha were seen as the kind of safe picks, but at this point, it looks like the safest out of all of them is probably Tyler for a while.
Oh yeah, unless he goes off the walls again. But let's hope.
Let's see the winning team. Let's see Team Brady. Oh man, what a beautiful team! I'll be honest. I forget that Danny's in the game half the time, but she's on my team. That's the only reason I remember.
Yeah.
I think people are going to at least pity David to jury, so I feel okay about it.
Maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
I think Bailey's in the best spot on your team.
Yeah.
Nicole A. She might be a straggler that gets. Here's the thing. I don't think you got anyone that's going home in the next 2 to 3 weeks, other than maybe David. So yeah. I feel like that puts your team in a good spot.
Between David, Danny, and Nicole A., it's really 3 people that the house could just unanimously vote out randomly one week because why not? Whereas Bailey would have to be a big game move. All right, let's see team viewers, how they do.
Let's see the real winning team.
God.
This is safe.
Yeah.
Kevin's going to go far now that he survived.
Nicole could go home soon. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I get a feeling she's a winner.
She could get backdoored easily.
Yeah, Nicole and Janelle, those I think are definitely – I mean, they could bounce back-to-back in the next couple weeks for all we know. But, hey, it looks pretty even. I think –
I agree.
If it's going to chalk, that would kind of think Kaser and Janelle are the 2 biggest targets this week, and then maybe Ian. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
clicked at the same time.
Oops. Oh, yeah. I was saying. So Justin asked, "Are you giving a point rating for all selections?" Yeah, basically. So Charlie gained 1 point. So Charlie is technically in the lead right now. So Charlie gets 1 point. Wait, 5 points.
Increments of 5.
Oh, you're doing increments of 5. All right, getting fancy now here, Charlie. Increments of
They're
5,
right.
and
Reduce
then
the ball.
well, and then last year we did. We'll have to figure out the bonus points for
for winning,
for America's favorite player and okay, so I see you bumped up 25 points from 75 to 100 for the end, so that's good.
America's favorite will probably get like an extra 20.
All right, so we'll say extra 20 points for America's favorite house guest. So that's basically how we're doing it.
It's not looking good, guys.
Zach said Nicole A needs to start winning. I agree, or else she's going to be seen as the weak link in every single just group that she finds herself in. She's one that needs to prove her worth, or they're going to cut her easy. Libby said, "I think Danny's in a good spot." I agree, as long as people don't just see her as an easy person to cut.
Here's the thing about Danny. Every time she's ever played Big Brother, she's turned on her alliance.
Yeah.
And she's already getting fed up with Cody. She's already getting fed up with David. I mean, thing about Danny is she's not going to keep it. She's not going to keep her mouth shut for too long.
Good. Spice it up. I want to get the boring people off. Charlie and I were talking about this on Xbox the other night. Someone needs to spice it up and just pull a Dan and be like, just vote everyone. Or was it Dan or Dr. Will? Who was it that was like...
Dr. Will is like, vote out all the floaters.
Yeah, Dr. Will.
Yeah.
Was like, let's just vote all the floaters out. Get them out of here. And they voted off all the people they deemed weak. You know, Nokomis got sent packing because she wasn't...
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, there's a couple of them this game, and we got rid of one week 1, so I'm okay with that.
Fume, we do not wish any ill wishes on anyone. That's tough, man.
You know, I will say, between Christmas and David, one of them needs to do something, though. Christmas, David, Kevin, and Nicole A. I mean, it's just like, all right, they're in the house.
Yeah.
One of you, I mean, you know, someone do something.
At least make an alliance together and end up voting.
Do something.
Yeah, do something. Just poke them with a stick. That's what we got to do, man. We got to poke them with a virtual stick.
You know what, though, we do know very well that as the producers are known to do, if they're thinking it's not getting heated up fast enough in this all-star season, they'll start doing things. You know what I mean? Like, they'll start throwing wrenches into the thing. You know what I mean? Like, be like, you know how we were saying at the end of the 3 weeks is when this new room opens? Well, actually, here's a 4th room. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, and Justin throws out a twist. I mean, various twists would be interesting. I saw someone, Veracity set up here. Julie ended the episode in a weird way. Yeah, she did this weird cryptic tweet of treat others the way that you want to be, do unto others how you would want things done unto you, or something along those lines. Very, very odd. I don't know, that must have been leading into something, but we're not going to really know.
Well, she did. We do know she did say Keisha's going home, so
yeah,
there's not going to be a battle back, which is good.
Thank God. We don't need a battle back.
There's 85 days this season. That means there's enough, I believe, at least 1 or 2 double evictions. So let's leave it at that. We don't need anything crazy.
Agreed. So Garrett, I as the people know, I'm a teacher. How many weeks do you think until they tell us all teachers to just go home because of COVID?
I'm gonna predict.
How many weeks do you give us?
3 to 4 weeks, and the numbers will start increasing.
We're going to be done. We start on Monday, and I think September 4th was my predicted date of when they shut everything down again. I live in Florida. Why are we going back to school?
Yeah, the way numbers shooting to the roof. School's open. That's what this means. No, anyway. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Brassy said, "I hope you're not a teacher in the South." Yes.
Well,
yeah. There's a reason why. Hey, man, we were way ahead of the game doing this podcast virtually and not around a round table. It's not that Garrett lives, like a 20-hour drive away, but
it's nothing to do with that. 0% chance.
0% chance. But anyway,
let's do the age-old question.
Okay.
Who in chat? We need you guys to answer. Who do you guys think Memphis will target this week? We've heard about it said on feeds, but that doesn't always mean everything. How many times have we seen someone say, "Oh, I'm going to do this"? They actually get it and they freak out and they just go, oh, never mind.
Especially since I think Memphis is a little easily manipulated right now. If 6 people come to him and say, we want this person on the block, he might do it.
Yeah. Imagine the power move. He's going to put Nicole and David on the block.
Oh my goodness.
The funky monkey says Ian. I personally am going to say Ian. Brady?
I think it's Kaser, and I would do the plan that I was saying before. I think it's Kaser and Janelle with the intention of backdooring Ian. I think that's the safest play.
So the target is Ian.
Yeah, and if all else fails and some random person is chosen for the veto and wins it and doesn't use it, then he can say, sorry, Kaser and Janelle. Like, that I planned on it and we didn't pull out the veto.
Okay. Garrett?
Yeah, I think I think I'm still there on that line of thinking. I think it's the safest thing you can do for your game as an HOH. Like, it's just an easy out. You know what I mean? Like, that you can take. I mean, it's going to create problems anyway. Okay. But they essentially gave you the excuse to do it. So it's like, no one's like, and to your point earlier, Brady, they're not going to have a chance to get mad about this because they blew their opportunity to fight back against this already. So it's like, it's like, no.
They leave Ian in this game too long, they're going to regret it.
Well, and we got to think, Memphis and Cody are in a unique position. These people that finished second, they have a chip on their shoulder and they want to show people that they're real game players and they're not just going to get carried to the end. So Memphis probably has it in the back of his mind. He doesn't want to vote out easy people ever. He probably always wants to make a big move. He wants to prove that he's an all-star.
So yeah, Veracity, to this point, it seems that Memphis, he's not the only one. They all know how dangerous he is. I think Danny also mentioned it, as well as Enzo.
And he's a winner. Him and Nicole F. are winners.
There was a segment on Wednesday's show that really showed Enzo, and I think if Memphis brings this up to Enzo's going to get 100% behind it.
Yeah. So Kevin and Nicole A.
Ah, God.
It could be seen as a safe option in another sense.
That is a safe option. That is definitely safe.
Tyler and Davon would be huge.
Maybe he catches wind that they're working together.
Maybe we saw on I guess it was yesterday, right? Yesterday's episode, we saw the whole Enzo saw, who was it? Nicole A and Ian talking together, and they think they're working with. Yeah. So I mean, maybe they could think that whole other side of the house, basically everyone not in their current alliance. Maybe
Tyler's another one. Hey, you got to get him out early if you want. Don't want him getting too far.
I'm the only one whose blood boils over every time I see David and Christmas on feeds. Charlie, do they basically just do nothing?
Yeah, they're. Everyone had the opinion before they went in that they didn't deserve to be back. That was an opinion you saw heavily on Twitter, and they're not really helping them for it. David is tough to listen to sometimes. I will agree.
I see a lot of Jody should have had David's spot. Jody, man, people are still clamoring for Jody. Leave it alone, people.
Jody, yep. I mean, hey,
it should be, never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke anyway. It would have been offensive, but anyway.
David talks in circles. One of the things I see people bring up all the time is, someone will ask David what he wants for breakfast, and then he'll be like, well, breakfast. Yeah, he'll just break it down into these other layers. Where it's just like, no, dude, what do you want for breakfast?
Like, legit, just tell me what you want for breakfast. I'm making breakfast.
You see the ideology of breakfast and what it does to the body in the morning. Oh.
So he just like Funky Monkey said, David's social game just ruins conversations. That's true.
David's likable. I like David personally, but I have to agree, he's not.
He's not an entertaining feed to watch. Exactly.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that, like we were talking about, just gets randomly chalked up in a week. And I mean, hey, see ya.
All right, Charlie, we're just under 30 minutes here, and I want to end it. But real quick, will you give me about 20 seconds on the state of the birds?
Oh, man. I don't know. I got to watch out, man, because these birds, I mean, hey, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, agreed. Like and subscribe. Click the bell so you know when we go live. And until next time, guys, see ya.